Greetings all, this is Dickie Adams with PocketNow.com, and today we're going to take a closer look at the software on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7.7 from Verizon. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, if you've seen Honeycomb once, you've seen it as many times as you're going to see it. It's exactly the same on this device as it is on the Wi-Fi version, save it's got a couple of the Verizon type apps on it, including some games that were included on it like Uno and Dead Space. It's got the Daily on here as well. Netflix is built in, unsurprisingly. It's got the mobile hotspot capabilities, which you wouldn't have in the Wi-Fi version. It's really, as expected, Blockbuster, the backup capabilities, My Verizon. Unfortunately, you can't delete any of these apps at all. It's terrible, and I really hate bloat. I would rather see a clean stock device, but in this case Verizon does have some of that on there. It would be interesting to see when ICS comes out how much of that gets taken away, or when a custom ROM comes out for this particular device, how much this device speeds up by removing some of the back-end bloat. It may be, as we mentioned in the hardware review, that it may actually be due to Honeycomb, but I've used some other Honeycomb devices that weren't this kind of sluggish. You've got your standard soft home buttons here and the unfortunate camera, or rather capture key here. You've got the quick options here, and you can edit them based upon the apps that they provide, not your own. And you've got various widgets on the screen, and it looks just like Honeycomb would. Apps up here, and if you go back to this menu, then you've got your settings here, Wi-Fi, etc. And then if you go into settings, then it will pop up the standard Honeycomb options here. We go to About Device. You can see the Android 3.2. You can see our battery use, just as you would expect on Honeycomb. Nothing terribly surprising here. The thing that it does have, and it's not any different than any other Samsung device, it's got your screen display style, your mode, so you can change it from standard to dynamic to movie. You've got the motion sensing capabilities, so if you turn on those motion movements, then you can scroll back and forth between screens by using the gyroscope, or you can zoom in and out on pictures by tapping, holding, and then twisting the device back and forth. Not items that I generally like to leave on, but they are there. A couple other items of note on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7.7 from Verizon. We've got the browser up here in the quick launch mode, which you can enable in the labs, which gives you the ability to kind of slide over from the side and select the kind of multi-tools here and your settings. A nice view here. It's something we covered in the original 7.7 software tour. I just want to pop into here and show you kind of what we're looking at for the browser, just to demonstrate that we really are looking at the same kind of configuration here. Save the LTE and the 3G capabilities from Verizon in this. As you can see, we've got the browser up. It's still loading just a little bit there. Give it a couple more seconds to finish loading so that the speed difference isn't noticeable. One other item that we didn't mention earlier when I was talking about these smart buttons down here. This button, while it's set to camera capture or the screen capture by default, it can be changed in the settings. It's just not really intuitive, and frankly I would think it would be better to serve as a shortcut for the camera by default rather than the screen capture by default. So now we're looking at the whole page fully loaded for PocketNow.com. If we scroll down, you can see that kind of refresh that's happening here as it swipes across the screen, the black that goes back and forth there. And even as we go up, it does the same thing, even though the page is completely loaded. And to me, that's really just distracting, in my personal opinion. It does work just fine, and I really do like the functionality of having this little sidebar, and would love to see other browsers be able to implement similar things as well. The other item of note that I'd like to show you here is the Smart Remote, which gives you the ability to take advantage of the IR port here. And it's essentially a TV watching style of app, although you can see here we've got TV shows, and it's got a listing of what's available in my area, and movies and sports, etc., etc. But most importantly, we have this option up here where we can turn devices on and off, such as my TV or my audio system. And if we go into here and we say rooms and devices, we can see we've got the provider set, we've got the TV type, we've got the AV receiver, and then you can add multiple devices, further devices as well, that allow you to control those devices by IR. Anything that works on IR will connect with this, and it's got a pretty good wizard for viewing how that stepping you through the process and really making it very simple to be able to use this app. There's been a couple of free updates since I got the application. While I've got a different multifunction remote, personally I found that this was actually pretty good and surprisingly very useful for this style of tablet. It's not something that I expected to find on this device. If you want to see more about the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7.7, specifically with the OS, the TouchWiz OS, and how Honeycomb works on this, then go out and look at our original Samsung Galaxy Tab 7.7 video that Brandon did, and it'll give you a lot more detail about some of the settings that are available. But otherwise, it's the same device. It just has the LTE and 3G capabilities put in, and it suffers from the same problems as the original device does as well. The screen loading times and the rotational speeds, etc., etc. And that wraps up our software tour on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7.7 from Verizon. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.